Every once in a while you get to the point where your wife says, I think that hat is not appropriate to wear in public. And what she means is, like, when you go out in town anywhere, or if you go out to eat, or if you go to a sporting event, the hat is a little embarrassing once it gets to this point of sweat ridden and kind of, you know, what it is. So I'm gonna head to North 40 in Great Falls to pick out a brand new hat and shape it into this. So the first thing to do, I guess, would be to unhook the horse trailer, because I don't want to drag that thing all the way up to Great Falls. All right, we're gonna head into the North 40 Outfitters here in Great Falls, Montana, and start the process of getting a new hat. So when you get a new hat, for me, it's really picking out the hat that fits correctly and that has the right color. And then I shape it to be the shape that I want, this shape right here, because you can't really buy them in this shape. I've tried, never was able to find any hats that actually come in this shape. There's close, but not all the way. Hi, Trinity.
Hi. Nice
How
to
you
meet you.
doing? Good to meet you.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Good. Nice.
You're the
Store
big
manager.
shot here?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we're going to pick out a hat today, and these guys are going to help me.
Want a cup of coffee?
I might have a cup of coffee.
Of course you will.
Yeah, of course. The store, North 40, is pretty awesome. It's huge. And they have a coffee shop right in here. So thank you. Appreciate it.
But yeah, I had a bunch.
And then we can work our way around the corner to the rest of the hat wall.
And what brand are these?
So they're Smith & Rogue hats, and they're made by Coffer Hat here in Montana. And they are a 50X.
So they're made by,
They're made by a hatter here in Montana.
oh wow, 50X.
They're 50X beaver, 50X rabbit. So they're 100%
Okay.
wool hat.
Ooh,
It's about as nice of a hat as you can buy.
they're got a lot different feel to them than like a normal straight felt hat, right? The hat is like totally, it's all about personality. Every person wants their hat to look different. So the style is really what somebody goes for. It's kind of a signature, if you will. There's a bull rider style, a bulldogging style, a bronc rider style. And my style obviously is completely different, but you got to find a hat that has the style that is able to style the top like you want. So these are pretty cool. This is made where in Montana, you said?
Livingston.
Livingston. Okay.
Yep.
And hats range in price from $60 up to as much as you want to pay.
This is kind of on the higher end as far as price goes. Definitely not as high as you could go.
No.
But you get what you pay for. So you don't need to cover this hat. You don't need to treat it. It's 100% good to go in any weather.
Sheds water.
Yep, 100%.
Okay. So let's go take a look at what else you got here. So these are, what brands do you have here then?
We have American hats. We have Stetson hats. We have Resistol hats. We have Twister hats. We have
Twister.
Twister.
Is that a brand?
It's a brand.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of styles of the top that you can see. Like this style is different on the top. Can you see that?
It's kind of that ashtray style.
Yeah. It's like a little different versus the really more traditional style like this. So this is not, it's going to look similar to this, and it takes quite a few years to actually get it to look like that. But
Patina correctly?
yeah, and to get the creases completely out of it, because when they style them like this, they spray them with something, and it makes some of these creases stay in there. But so you can see how different this looks on me than this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I look like a normal person.
that hasn't had their hat shaped?
Well, no, this is normal. This is what most people have their hats look like.
You are not a normal person.
No, I'm not a normal person. So I kind of like the color though. This has to turn out somewhat like this. The only way to shape these is with steam. You got to get them really steamed up and then shape the brim and the top. See, now
There's a
this
hat
is
for
a
you.
unique hat, right? I don't think maybe for me, but for the right person.
It's a good color on you, Dad.
You think so?
Mhm.
You think it goes well? Probably washes me out a little bit.
Surprised you know what that means.
It doesn't. Yeah. Your mother's taught me some style tips.
Oh, yeah.
Like that. Yep.
So to get started, where are your store locations at?
We have 12 locations in Idaho, Washington, Montana, just 3 here, 2 in Great Falls, and 1 up in Havre.
When you're setting a cowboy hat down, I just want to explain this because people freak out about this all the time. You can set your hat down on a flat surface like that. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Mine falls over because it's not even here. You can set it down like this, or if you have a place to set it like that where the brim can come over it, you can do that. That's legal. If you set it down like this, in fact, that hurts. That hurts me, and people freak out when if you set a cowboy hat down like that. So just don't ever do that. Okay, that's cowboy etiquette or cowboy hat etiquette 101 right there. So the first thing we're gonna have to do is mess with this top. So to do that, you have to get the top like really saturated because this has been sprayed. So it's pretty hard. You basically have to bubble this completely out and then start from scratch again. And if I didn't do it here, I'd be doing it at home. So this is just much easier because I don't have to do it over a stove.
A teapot.
A teapot,
It's usually right here.
which is what I do. So I'm just kind of taking the curve out of the top here, and then we'll start from there. I'm getting there though. It takes a while to mold these things when they're kind of set in their ways. Because I think how they shaped these originally, when they're kind of set on a stamp mill when they're wet, right?
Yep.
So this is like trying to train your hair when it's getting stuck when you slept on it all night.
Good.
So now that I got to this point, you're never going to get it perfect when you're doing this originally. A lot of this is like putting on your head and sweating in a little bit to get the form that you want. But I'm getting close. So I've got pretty much all of the old shape out of this as far as the top goes. I haven't started down here. And now I can start kind of forming it into what I'm wanting. The more you shape it, the more stiff it's going to get, the more hard. So it can be difficult when you're starting with a new hat to get it to this point, but you really have to push and stretch from the inside, kind of stretch that hide out a little bit. And now I can start doing the front. Yeah, I kind of work from the front back here.
How'd you learn how to do this?
Hours and hours of messing it up since I was a teenager. I'd shape it and then look at it in the mirror and be wrong, and I'd shape it again and closest thing to this style is like what they call a short gus, but it's not really a short gus. It's close. I bring the front down a little bit further than they do.
Yeah, honestly, your style of hat is. I've never seen anyone do anything like
Not quite.
it, really.
It's Montana is close too, but Montana is a little taller in the back. And that will burn the tar out of your hands if you put your hand over that steam. That is hot stuff. There we go. Now she's starting to, see that? Now it's starting to take shape a little bit. Let me make sure it's centered before it solidifies.
Some guys are pretty particular, and we obviously let them shape their own hats, but generally it's a service we offer when you buy a new hat. Or if you bring in your old hat, we can steam it, we can clean it, we have the brushes, we have all the things you need to clean a hat or stretch it out if your head grows or something like that. So we try to offer everything you would need to take care of your hat.
I'm getting pretty close.
Getting closer. The top is a little bit too high yet. We're gonna have to knock that down, but and then we'll start on this part. Pretty dang close there.
That is pretty close.
That's
yeah.
pretty close. So if you look at these two, the top is getting pretty close to that. See? Can you see it?
Yep. That's actually really close, Dad.
So now I just got to get the brim shaped a little bit. Most of the time these are a little too flat. They don't look like it, but they're a little too flat for me. So I dip the front down just a touch, and then I like the back curved a little bit down. And I'm trying to get everything steamed evenly, because you got to start in the middle and work your way out. If you start one side or the other, you always look like your head's on crooked after that. If you get the front of your hat facing the wrong way, you can see how that it doesn't come down in the back right here, like my hat. So that's what I'll fix in a minute. Before you're 18, I used to be able to sleep on the floor, a rock hard floor, my head up on a rock, no problem. Now I sleep in a really soft bed, and I wake up in the morning and go, what in the heck happened to my back? Pretty close,
yeah,
huh?
that is pretty close. That's almost spot on, Dad.
Pretty close. I think that's about as close. I'm gonna fix this a little bit right here. Back's pretty good. I'm gonna touch that up right here. So what I do is I just steam the crap out of right here, all in the front, and then I just put it on kind of deep and let my head form it. You gotta be careful not to undo what you just did too. Even though that's too deep, what that does is makes it fit your head, and then make sure you wear it like that for a minute until it kind of solidifies, and that gets your head shape kind of in the hat, so when you put it on, it doesn't feel like it's hitting you in like one spot and nowhere else, because it does. Usually new hats do, because one size does not fit all for head shape, that's for sure. I think I could probably go to town with this one. What do you think?
Yeah.
You think my wife would prefer it over going to town with this one?
Probably.
Yeah.
Knowing my mother.
Now that it feels so wrong when you get a cowboy hat on, you see like this one, this is unshaped, right? Normal shape. They sit high in your head. See how high that sits? How far that is from my ear? And that's normal with cowboy hats. So me personally, I'm totally different.
Thank you.
How I do mine differently is they sit so much, and everybody wonders how I can keep my hat on the wind. It's because it sits down so much lower on my head.
While I was there, I decided to go look for a new pair of boots.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good. So this is an American-made boot. So if you want to support people in the U.S., which I try to do if I can, and they're nice looking too. They really are. They're good looking stuff.
Rebuildable, so the sole can be rebuilt.
Oh, okay.
It can be rebuilt.
Yeah, you can put a new sole on it after you wear it out. And feet are really important. I'll tell you what. Now, what I consider a good boot is something that's flattened. Oh yeah, that fits pretty good actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something that's flat enough that you can walk around in if you're in town or in the corral or whatever, but has a narrow enough heel you can still get a spur on. Some of those work boots work well for working around in the yard, but you can't get a spur on them very easy. So, you know, I thought that would be more difficult to pick out a pair of boots, but this
That was the
this
first
is
one
pretty
to try
easy.
on. So
That is really nice. I like that.
Classic boot, easy to fit,
Yep.
comfortable.
Very comfortable. Yep. So that looks like a pretty good boot. I think I'm gonna go with these. As you can tell, my boots are a little bit hashed, and
on the sides of them, you can really see.
especially the sides of them, but they've had it.
Yeah.
So we have to replace them with a new set. So boot shopping is usually my nemesis, because usually the ones that I like, they don't have the size that I need. And this was like perfect. Find the ones I need right off the bat. It's the help.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
Larry, not me.
Yeah. All right, let's go check and see if that's.
Well, you did lead us to Larry.
Yeah.
Did lead us to Larry, so it's her fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the experts.
So if you want to get a hat that looks like this, make sure you stop by North 40 Outfitters right here in Great Falls, Montana, or one of the other locations throughout the Western United States, and make sure you tell them that Trinity sent you. Until next time, God bless. Make sure you click the top link if you want to see me have a little misadventure and break a rib. Let's click the bottom link to watch moving cows at 8,000 feet in Montana.